Everybody. I don't know if you can see me. I have a friend again. Every time I sit in this chair, this cat wants to sit here. So we're having friends. Anyway, I'm so excited to be doing Outside the Box with you today. And I'm going to be sharing my friend, Rob Howze. So we're going to see if we can't get him on to join us here. Hold on one sec. Got to turn that on. Let's see here. Okay, wait, I don't see him on there yet. Okay, Rob, when you jump on, if you want to request to be in, that would be awesome. I accidentally didn't have it set. Hold on a second. Send him a message here. I'm excited for you to hear from Rob because he's just an awesome person. So, and he's doing such amazing things. So I can't wait for you to hear all the incredible things. There goes the cat. So I'll see if we can get him on there yet. Okay. Let's see. It's so hard to. Here he is. Okay, let's see. Rob. So he's adding you.
Hey, hey.
I love that you came as Superman. That is so awesome. Oh my gosh. Welcome to Outside the Box with Sherri. And trust me, you're outside the box right now because most people don't show up dressed as Superman. But I love it. And I'm sure there's a story behind it. And I'm sure you're going to share it with us. So I would like to introduce my friend Rob Howze. And I would love, hey, Rachel, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself because I know you're doing so many amazing things. So I want to make sure we touch on all the things that you are doing and making a difference in the world and all those things. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who Rob is?
That is, you know what? That's become even more and more difficult every day to summarize that in a simple setting. You know, it's like, but it does help me refine it. I think everyone should ask themselves, like, who are you? You know,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I am. I'm like constantly redefining. But my purpose is now, interesting enough, up until this point, it's been 1 billion healthy, wealthy human doings. That's the mission, right? But today, it felt like billions of healthy, wealthy human doings. You know, it felt like instead of a number. See, the reason you put a number on it is because you have to have some kind of visual target to aim for.
Absolutely.
So it makes logical sense. But the more I think about it, it's like, I mean, after a billion, why stop there anyway? So anyway, you know,
right.
That's essentially who I am. I'm just I have a history.
And can you explain a little bit about what that movement is? Because if anyone follows you, and I hope they do, because they'll just be motivated, their socks fly off. I really want you to explain what, hey, Dr. Ty, I want you to explain what that is essentially. And I know that's your tagline. I see your hashtags. So for somebody who is just looking at what you're doing, can you explain what that is? I know you said it's your purpose.
Yes.
So can you kind of define that for us a little bit?
So my purpose has a purpose, and my purpose is to help people find theirs. And it really, inside their purpose, is holistic health. Mind, body, and spirit. And so it's 1 billion healthy, wealthy human doings. Healthy is the new wealthy. So that's how we get fit rich. And being fit rich is when you're fit mentally, physically, and spiritually. That's when you're fullest, you're overflowing. Fit rich, mind, body, spirit. And we're talking about how you think, your mental perspective, your psychology, your habits. Then your body, what are you eating? You know, what medications are you taking and you don't need to be taking? Could be subbing something organically in there. All different kinds of things like that. Ingredients, sugar, how much are you eating? How much caffeine are you drinking? I mean, all these things that affect you physically and then spiritually, your connection to God, but it really starts with your faith. And so before your faith is your gratitude. So you'll never have faith if you don't have gratitude, but you kind of work your way up. Once you get gratitude, it opens the door to, faith is there, then, the one who provides the faith. So getting people to have all that in their life operating, I mean, that's a good place. You know?
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
love the term fit rich. That is just amazing to me because as you know, I am in a basically a health company as well,
Hmm.
and so we have a lot of people that come to us, and they're in a weaker spot and they're looking to get to a healthier spot. When you're sharing with people, what's something that like a starting point for somebody if they're totally lost and they just need to get their stuff together?
Yeah.
What is your first step for them?
So the first step is understand why you want to do it. If you're doing it just
Right.
because you want to please somebody, or you're doing it because you're feeling pain, if you're doing it, your motive has to be right. Now you can lose the weight, but if you want to sustain it, you got to ask yourself why you're doing it, and it should be because you love you. Like
Right.
it just be that. So the first step is loving yourself enough to say, yeah, I'm doing this not because I have to, because I want to. Shift the
Right.
mindset. So that's the first step. But then we can, depending on, okay, now let's talk next level up. So once they decide to do that, now we also decide which habits are we going to get rid of. And when
Yes.
you remove a habit, you have to move something else in its place, or it will grow back like a weed. It's like, wah.
Yes.
So remove the bad
That's a
habit.
great that's a great analogy. I like that.
It's like,
So,
what are you talking
and
about?
I kind of feel like for most people, they like to just yank that out and just
Yeah,
do nothing with it. But it's like a garden.
yeah.
If you till the soil, the things you want don't necessarily grow. You have to plant them, nurture them, weed them. You have to do all the things
Yes.
to get the yield that you want. And I
Hmm.
think that's very much like it is with our health. We have to eat the right things. We have to drink the right things. We have to, mentally
Yeah.
be fit
Yep.
as well. And it's so important what you're saying is that it's an integrative health that people want, and they're always looking for a quick fix and that one thing
Yeah.
that's going to be, the fix it all. But there isn't one thing because there's so many components to it.
There's so many components and so much that you're building. I mean, the tallest buildings have the biggest foundations. If a short building has a small foundation, doesn't need a big foundation. But the higher the building, the bigger the foundation. And what you're doing, these habits that you're doing, is building the foundation for you to be fit rich. It's fit rich.
Right. And that leads me to something that I'd like for you to share a little bit. I know you have young children. Mine are grown. And there's probably some things I wish I could go back and do a little bit different with
Yeah.
my youngsters that are now grown. But I'd love for you to share a little bit about how we are going to be helping the next generation be fit rich, because it's really easier to develop good habits when
Yeah.
you're 4, 5, and 6 than it is when you're 40, 50, and 60.
That's it. That's it. And a person who grows up in the woods will never know the city. A person who grows up in the city will never know the woods. And so we have to
That's
show
a good
our
analogy.
children, we have to show them.
Right.
We have to be the example.
Right.
We have to lead the way. And this is how we lead the next generation to fit richness. Let me tell you about how these kids are amazing and they're light years ahead of us. 100 years ago, if you'd have said, hey, I'm just going to be a box, we're going to be talking to each other, and I'm going to see you face to face through some invisible waves, they'd have hung you, so crazy, right? But in 100 years later, it's like, wow. But 100 years from now, it's going to be 100,000 times crazier. That's where their minds are. So we plant the fit rich seed in that soil.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you use that story, because I actually just said to my husband last night, I said, oh my gosh, can you imagine 50 years ago, it was so different than it is today. I said, can you imagine what it's going to be like 50 years from now? And I said, it's so hard to wrap your head around it. And I'm sure that 50 years ago, the people my age were saying, no way we'll be talking to a box, like you said, to somebody in a completely different state halfway across the country.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's so amazing to me. But to me, that's like really exciting to be part of that planting of
Yeah.
those seeds.
Yes.
And I'm excited because on I think on Thursday I'm going to be interviewing a friend of mine and her daughter's an entrepreneur and she's only 7, and so I'm super excited about that. I'm going to post up on that tonight. But she's just doing phenomenal things. But her mother is a phenomenal woman, so she
Yes.
just, and she
Yeah.
said, I haven't pushed her. I've just let her be who she is. I said, yeah, but you've watered that seed and you've nurtured her. And, it hasn't taken her 30 years to germinate the seed. She's like, well, I can do it, so I'm going to,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Amazing.
totally see what you're saying, because that
Amazing.
is going to be going down the road when she's my age. I'm just awed.
Yeah.
I really am.
It's amazing. It really is amazing to watch him. My son, like the Superman video. I'm not sure if you saw the 30 days of videos, the intro. When I
I
fly out,
did.
my son, like, he sits down and does it. Like, it's amazing how he absorbs what he wants to absorb. Like, whatever he loves to absorb, he absorbs it like a super
Yep.
sponge. It's unbelievable. So our point is, our goal is to equip them. So since they have these
Right.
minds, since they have these amazing minds, all they have to do is be shaped, and not even shaped, but directed, because they're gonna do their own shaping,
Right.
but to give them a direction. Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing is, today, and as you and I are both entrepreneurs, you know, we're sort of those ones that everybody kind of in a way still looks at and goes, oh, they're doing that. And, yeah, I am. I'm doing that, and I'm
Yeah.
doing 20 other things. And that's because that's who I am. And
Yeah.
that's where my happy place is just exploding with ideas. And I'm not ashamed of it. It's who I am. And I love it as that it's part of me. But I do see a difference in the younger generation, is that that's like their starting point. It took me, 20 years to get here, but it's their starting point. And so I look at that in terms of how we are in the health space, where, some of us are trying to catch up, and say, oh my gosh, I should have been thinking about this. And like the other day, I said to my husband, I said, I'm not eating that. And he's like, why? I said, because I know what the ground it came out of. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I said, something may get me anyway, but I'm not going to eat that. And he was like laughing at me. And I was like, no, I said, I can't control everything.
Right.
So,
Right.
I said, I want to acknowledge the things I can control. Absolutely. And you know what? There's things that the next generation won't even put up with.
Yeah.
It's just going to be what it is.
Yep. Absolutely.
They're going to force it. And that's exciting. I love that. I mean, I think that's great.
I love it.
So anyway, so share with me, I know we know each other through Small Business CEO, which is super exciting.
Yes.
And I'd love for you to touch on that, because we have a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs that follow the show and watch the videos afterwards. And so I'd like to tell a little bit about that and maybe how that might benefit some of our listeners.
Well, with that timing, as you said that, our studio engineer, Anthony Venuto, just popped in here. As you said, it's like, boo, Small Business CEO. That was great. Look at that great timing. So see how we're having this conversation. Building relationships in business have to be like this. Now, a lot of people don't know how to do that because they have their sales hat on, their marketing hat on, their whatever hat they have to wear. And so a Small Business CEO is essentially an ecosystem for entrepreneurs and small business owners to connect with each other, build relationships, grow the business online, shorten their learning curve, build a relationship capital, get organic referrals. I mean, all the things you want to do in business, which will help you to sustain your business. That's Small Business CEO. And so, there's a lot of other pieces connected to it, but it really just, that's the nucleus. Because essentially it's a mindset, it's a mindset. And once you get the mindset, we are in the mindfulness era. I've seen mindfulness on the cover of Time magazine 2 times in the last 12 months. So clearly, this is the mindfulness era. Anything on Time magazine. I like that though, because that means that mindfulness has gone commercial. That means that people, that means they're adopting it for whatever reason. And we want that. We want
Right.
that. Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, I think people will say, I can't do sales. I'm like, no, everyone's in sales. Do you have children? Yes.
Yeah.
Did you try to convince them to eat
Yes.
their peas?
Yeah.
You're in sales.
You're in sales.
Did you sell it? Because if they got to watch TV or play video games because they ate their peas,
Yes.
then you sold it. You know, I'm like, it's actually just, you know, people don't look at it that way, but you know, we sell ourselves every day when we go meet people, you know, you know, most people, I would say most, you know, want people in general to like them.
Yeah.
And it's all part of life is relationships. And you know, I don't really like the separation of sales and relationships and say, I'm going to put this hat on,
Yeah.
because I feel like whatever product I'm sharing with somebody, I hope that a big part of that is me, you know,
Yeah.
is the relationship that we've developed. And that's the part that I really like about SBCEO is really developing strong network relationships. Like I scheduled an outside the box with someone earlier. She's in a competitive company and she's like, oh, really? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I am not going to stand here and pretend like I have the only product in the world.
Right.
That'd be lovely, but it's not true.
Right.
And because I deny it would not mean that it wasn't there. And I said, you know, I don't know that my product is for every person. And so my preference is to really just shine a light on, and I'll tell you, one of the reasons why I extended that offer was because of the way she reached out to me. It was based on relationship. I got on the phone with her.
That's good.
And I thought, I really like her as a person. You know, and so, and I don't have anything against the product. It's just not something I've chosen. So, but I said to her, I said, that doesn't mean that I can't support you. I said, it doesn't mean I wouldn't refer someone to you. And, you know, that's truly what I think this type of broadcast is even about, is like, you know what, let's network. Let's find out how we can help each other.
Yeah.
And I can shine a light on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with me, other than I know you're involved with SBCEO, what your next sort of immediate projects are that you're working on with your individual brand?
Yeah, yeah. So launching tomorrow, October 17th, which happens to be my daughter's birthday.
Yeah.
She was right here. She just vanished. Harmony? Yeah. Oh, she is there. Early happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Love that girl. So October 17th, tomorrow is her birthday and the launch of the 30 days of videos challenge. You know, 30 days of videos challenge. And it's interesting because I wasn't trying to start a challenge. I was challenging myself. I said, okay, I really need to get my video content strategy hat game on better. What better way to do that than do 30 days of video and make a commitment? Once I made the commitment, I decided, let me go put the hashtag 30 days of videos in, you know, the search engine so I can see who's already done the video this before and, you know, ask what they want to do it or something. But when I put it in there, nothing showed up. I was like, did it again. I thought it was my computer, and I went on my phone, did it. So then I tried 30 days of video, and stuff showed up with an O and no S. Put the S in, it was me. So I hurried and put together a message, put some GIFs on it, and I sent it, refreshed it, and I was officially the first person on LinkedIn Planet to put hashtag 30 days of videos. So I'm the Christopher Columbus of this.
There you go.
It felt so good.
You
I was like, wow.
discovered hashtag video.
Like nobody cares but me. It was like, wow, that feels like it's great. So you know,
no, that's awesome. I love that.
You know, so what's the purpose? So once I did that, my man Errol came on, and someone else, and then someone else, and someone else. Before you know, people were just saying, I want to do this challenge. I was like, okay. So now I have to put together some kind of format. So I started putting together a format. I call them tools and toolkit. You know, 5 tools to help you, not just for your content planning, but understanding your why, your strategy, promotion, all the things that you need to make that video, 30 days video, a success. So by doing that, I created the Video Strategy Academy. This is all in the last like 48 hours.
Wow.
So I made the Video Strategy Academy. So anyone taking a challenge, they can have the academy, and that will give them everything they need to not be stressed out and really have fun doing this and actually optimize what they're doing.
Awesome.
You know, so it's hashtag 30 days of videos. Now I'm doing it. It's officially a LinkedIn, but I'm going to do a Facebook as well. But on Facebook, I'm going to be clear about it. It's a LinkedIn. You know.
Right.
But
I don't think I've ever done a video on LinkedIn. Like, can you do them live there?
No live. You can record from your phone and then it'll just dump.
Okay. Okay.
And LinkedIn even has a camera icon where you can push it. You literally can just go film yourself, and then once you're done, you're in LinkedIn. I don't like it that way because you can't edit the description at all. So.
Okay, I see. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Dr. Ty is saying, Sherri, you should do it. I totally will do it.
Yes.
I will do it. I think maybe we'll jump back on here after 30 days and talk about it.
That's good.
I think that would be an awesome follow-up. And if anybody wants to do the 30 days with us, we'll go back when we're off camera and add in the hashtag, and you can put your links into the Video Academy thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
So like, how do
you know what I'll do? You're the first person I'm sharing live with the website. So I went to GoDaddy and typed in 30daysofvideos.com, and that was available too. I was like, get out of here. So I took it. So go to 30daysofvideos.com. Go to 30daysofvideos.com, and that's where you'll find the Video Strategy Academy.
I love that. And you know what? I love that you're sharing something like that. You know, even with my team, they get so nervous about it. And I've actually helped several people. I just did one the other day with somebody. It was their first one. And I said, well, I'll be on camera with you. So we did it together. And, you know, she managed to get through it. I think she was nervous, but I tried to make her laugh a couple times. Yeah. And she did. But I think she goes, well, that wasn't so bad. I said, yeah. And I said, the greatest thing is you can only say I have never done that once. Yeah. Because once you do it, you don't get to use that excuse. You got to come up with something else. That's right. You're done. I'm like, that's awesome. So I'm like, well, you know, you just got to do it. And somebody said, oh, I don't know. I said, I just did a presentation on this. And I said, you know what? I said, here's the thing. People go, oh, I'm too fat, or I like this, I look too old, I'm wrinkled. I mean, I've heard everything. And I'm like, come on. Here's the thing. When you're doing any kind of video, I said, if people are picking you apart that hard, you know, they probably shouldn't even be in your network anyway.
Really?
Get rid of them.
Very good point. And you may have to also watch what you're clicking on your news feeds too, because if you start clicking on stuff in your news feeds, you actually get introduced to people who listen to those news feeds.
Right.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
I know that's algorithm stuff, but I mean it's true. You know.
It is.
I try to keep my news feeds clean.
Right, exactly. And so I would actually, you know, leading that insight, I like to actually ask you a question about how you feel in terms of putting people in your space that are in alignment with what you're doing.
I had a wave. You know, I had a sound wave come through. I just had to bring the volume down. Can you say that again? My son helped me say. Yeah.
That's okay. Can you share a little bit about how important or how you feel about having people in your space that are in alignment with what your goals and dreams are and what your push is?
Oh my goodness. So like how much I am so appreciative of my daughter walking behind me. Hey, birthday girl. And all the people so there's nothing we can do alone, right? Nothing great. And so being in line with people who are smarter than you or have a different focus than you, but are all synergized with the same purpose as you, which means moving humanity forward. Again, something you're doing that's contributing to the planet. We don't have to make it crazy. It doesn't have to be some people think, oh, I'm just me. No, your contribution counts and matters. So I just love aligning with people like that. And then if they happen to have a business, nonprofit or for-profit, I can help them and connect with people who can help them be the best at what they're doing. so that they can move the needle. Because the better we get at what we're doing, the faster the needle moves. You know. Did I answer the question?
Yes.
Because I feel like
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Well, and yeah, and that was part of because I was just chuckling because I had somebody earlier in my news feed comment on that they had asked somebody not to put something on their timeline. And I was like, I sat here for just a second and then I thought, I'm not going to respond. And then I thought, no, I'm going to respond. I'm just going to share. And so I thought maybe they didn't know how to use Facebook. So I explained how you could go and, you know, hide that post or that content and stuff like that. I said, now for me personally, I wouldn't reach out and tell that person not to put it in their timeline because that's them. I said, to me, I liken that to going, I don't like the color yellow. I wish you wouldn't wear yellow clothes. You know, it's a personal preference. I can't really tell somebody how to run their Facebook page, but I do get to control what I see. That is the control I do have.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but one of those things is that's that alignment thing for me. If I see things going too sideways that are not in alignment with the exact things that you were just saying, you know, in that space that are moving that needle forward.
Yeah.
I gotta go where I can't see it. I don't care that they're there. I just can't entertain it.
Yes. What's up? I see Ellie Hirsch is here too. Dr. Ty is in the building. I didn't even see it. I couldn't see it. Ellie, how did Ellie get in here? You know Ellie Hirsch too? Are we out in the world? I thought it was the inside group, but we're out for the whole world. Okay.
We're out in the whole world, yeah. Yeah, because I don't know Ellie. I don't think. Maybe I should.
You should know her. I just partnered. So we haven't talked about my program, Can't Fit, because we couldn't.
Oh, yeah. I want you to go talk about that before we have to jump off.
Yeah. So think of The Biggest Loser, but for kids. And not The Biggest Loser, but kicking kids off of the show, but building them up. And everything that we talked about. Having a curriculum where that happens. So we've been doing that for about 8 years. We turned it into a reality show. So it's on Comcast and DirecTV. The reason we put it on TV is because we knew that the things that we were doing, people all over the world should watch it.
Right.
So it's basically giving parents ideas and concepts. Now partnering with Ellie, she has a company, Parent You Up, that we just Can't Fit and Parent You Up partnered. And they actually have a curriculum program for parents to help them. Same thing we were just talking about, that same mindset model implemented into the parental program. I mean, it's 24/7. It's unbelievable.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And I love that. That's going to be a component of something I'm doing too, because I feel like that if I don't help with the parental space, it's never going to roll downhill to the child space because that child doesn't stay a child.
Right.
You know, they get to grow up and then there's the next generation. And so we really have to, it's our investment today in our future, whether we're in that future or not. We have to take our knowledge and our expertise and what we can do today to help.
I think you froze.
Whoops.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't know. It kicked me out. All of a sudden it said Google something.
Did it?
Like, I don't know what that was. Sorry.
I thought my battery went out because I heard.
I was like, technology, what is happening? I've not had that happen before. Anyway, so I was just saying, you know, we have to invest in our future, and the way to invest in our future, the best possible way, is exactly what you're doing, is in our kids.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not in video games and it's not in stocks. It's in our children because our children are going to grow up and have children and have children. And you know what? That is the future. Humanity is the future.
It is. It is. And it's super important that we understand how important that parental process is. So we know that we're running, we're going, the day is the night faster than you can blink. But if we're mindful as parents about mindfulness of how we're treating each other, how we're showing up to our kids, like actually mindful about how we're showing up. I have this 3-step process: self-reflect, course correct, and humility. These 3 things together, I feel, make the greatest person you can possibly be. Self-reflection, course correction, and humility. Self-reflection allows you to look at yourself and how you're showing up. And then course correction allows you to change directions based off the analysis. And humility gives you the ability to do both of those things. And because if you don't have humility, you'll self-reflect and won't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Exactly.
So
Dr. Ty's probably laughing at my email thing that I did that I sent her, because it's kind of very much like what you just said. But I love that, because I think that that is so true, and self-reflecting is such an important part of emotional health, physical health, all of it.
Yeah.
And all wraps back up into your why. And when I did my Power of Me conference, I talked a little bit about that, about the power of being a parent. And because what happens is, when you lead from an unhealthy space, whether that's between your ears or wherever physically,
Yeah.
It bleeds out onto your children, and you don't have to say a word. Maybe you're saying words, but it just rolls off as this is how we do. And so I was talking to them about, like what you decide to put out into the world. You get to make a choice,
Yeah.
and they're going to receive the good and the bad. So we have to make sure what's going out. And some people will say, oh, the most important thing a parent can do is to feed their kids, clothe them, house them. And I disagree. I think the most important thing you can do as a parent is take care of your child's emotional health.
Yes.
That's my
one. Survey
absolutely.
says
Number one, right?
Number one is
And because what happens is, like they'll figure out where they're going to sleep.
Yep.
At 30, they'll figure out how to get food when they're 30, or where they're going to live.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know where to go when it's not right up here.
Dang.
Or in the heart. We don't know where to go for that.
If this thing shut off right now, we would know why. That was a bomb right there.
Yeah. I mean, we got to do it. Wow. And the thing is too, and it goes along with what you're doing, that fit health, that all of that it all goes together. It's all wrapped together. It's so intertwined. You can't really separate them all out, because they do all weave in and amongst one another, with the health and the wealth and the mental health and the emotional health, the physical, the nutrition, all those things. They're all wrapped up together.
All together.
Absolutely.
One like
and then the gratitude thing,
Yeah.
That part's really important too. Being thankful for whatever it is you got, no matter what it is.
Gratitude will determine your altitude, because your gratitude determines your attitude. Just think about it. If you're not grateful, you got a bad attitude. Like, if you're not grateful, you have a bad attitude. You're gonna be low. But if you have gratitude, you have a high attitude, but you'll be high. What I like about that is, if you think about it, if your gratitude determines your attitude, which determines your altitude. When you're high, it means when stuff's going on, you can look down at it instead of being in it. You have a low attitude.
Yes.
You're just caught up in it. But you have gratitude, you're thankful, it lifts you. That's why everything good feeling is lifted. I'm feeling lifted. The spirit's lifted. Everything lifted and being lifted is good. So lift yourself. Lift it up, people. And
I believe the saying "misery loves company" is absolutely true, and we don't need any of that. And that goes back to the alignment thing. And so, be careful when they say look at the 5 closest people to you. That's like a real thing. Go look at who you're talking to. Look at where your space is. Because it reflects back in the physical and the mental and the emotional. All those things play back into it.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you real quick before we close, is there anything that's on your heart or what you'd really like to share that we didn't talk about?
Probably just the best person that you could possibly be is you. The best person you could possibly be. Like, you can be the second best somebody else, but you can be the best you ever. So if we just keep our minds wrapped around that, it's very easy to get caught up in looking at what's happening around you, because we do need models to follow. But the best you can be is you.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is how I phrase that. You know what? We're just a single snowflake in a blizzard, but you're the only one like you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
And ain't nobody else just like you, and only you can do you.
Right.
So don't be trying to go change and doing other things.
Love it.
Just stand in the power of you and be your unrepeatable miracle that you are, that you were designed to be.
The unrepeatable miracle spiritual. Yep. Come on now. Yep. I love it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Rob, how can people connect with you? Because I love your energy and your spirit, and you know that, but I know how to connect with you, but can you share with people how they can connect with you online?
Absolutely. They can click on my face on this thing, or go to robhowzespeaks.com, and everything is there. Everything every connection is there.
Yes, and I know you're on LinkedIn because we're connected there. Are you on Instagram and Twitter and all that as well?
I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook. I do have an account on so I'm saying I'm there, but it's a robot of me. You know, it's not like not the real me. It's like, you know, I want to keep flowing content there, so I have great posts going up and things that are still rich, but I don't spend a lot of time. You know, but you know, if someone swings by and they say hi, I want to say hi back. You know.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll have the links. I'll get those all from you where they can connect with you and your website and that, and we'll post in the comments. And then when we post the video up to YouTube, we'll also have that. I can't say thank you enough for joining me today. And I really appreciate your enthusiasm and everything you're doing to really help build a better generation into the future and planting those seeds of greatness, if you will, in our youth, because I think it's so important. And being such a phenomenal role model, truly. I mean, as an eagle, as Dr. Ty says.
I was just gonna say, transcending horizons. Dr. Ty was the connection for us. So
absolutely,
and that's the
power.
And
she's phenomenal too. So I hope people are following her as well. And I want to say thank you so much, Rob, for taking your time out and you know, connecting with me. And I'm gonna jump in your challenge. Do your 30 days of videos. We'll see how it goes.
So go to 30daysofvideos with an s.com and get the video. It's funny. I just made it yesterday. It's so crazy how stuff happens so fast. Like. Yeah. But when you concentrate your energy, it's like, oh, okay.
It's okay. I decided to write my book in an 8-minute car ride. It's fine. It just happened. I guess it was germinating for 30 years or something. But anyway, but yes, it was just that instant where it came to me, and the name has been the same for months. So that's, you know what, I think we have to just understand those when it's dropped in our spirit like that, and embrace it and run with it. And that's exactly what you've done. So we'll maybe pop back in 30 days and talk about our experience and what it's done for us. And I would love if we have some other people that want to participate in the challenge, when we jump on, maybe we'll pull them on.
That's it. 30 days. That's it. 30daysofvideos.com. Go there and jump in. Jump in.
Awesome. I can't wait. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your wisdom. And it's been a great time talking to you. And we'll connect soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye.